Awesome. We welcome Savannah today to lead us through some of the do's and don'ts of online reputation and branding. And we'll turn it over to you, Savannah.
Absolutely. So excited to be with y'all. I am Savannah. I am the co-founder and CEO of the Breezy Company. We are a marketing subscription that is focusing on building the online reputations of small businesses, startups, and solopreneurs. A little background on us. We started out as a content company purely about 6 years ago. Saw kind of a gap in the market of getting consistent, affordable, but high quality content for this small business startup solopreneur space, and over the past few years kind of expanded into more offerings from sites to strategy to video production. And our passion had always been to kind of disrupt the agency space a bit and have this really scalable, flexible model for people who needed to be able to change and upgrade and downgrade different marketing initiatives that they had. Our original kind of thought was to be the Netflix of content, if you will, and to really make it feel like that subscription based model. And over the years, it kind of started to shift, and we started to really do a big comprehensive look at our company about 9, 10 months ago, and we started looking at what we were actually doing. And while we were using marketing tactics and ideas, what we realized our actual mission was to build the online reputation of our clients. And that means that their entire digital footprint, their entire online holistic kind of presence was all of those things communicating what we wanted it to communicate. Was it giving a good first impression? Was it building credibility? Was it making that brand seem like the go-to source in their industry? Was it making them seem like an authority in their space? And so while yes, we were using marketing tactics to do that, the actual mission was much bigger than that. So when we started kind of digging into this, we started to kind of survey our clients and ask them anecdotally what they had experienced in working with us, as well as, of course, looking at hard outcomes. And the thing we kept hearing back from people over and over again was, since I've been working with you guys, people see me more seriously. They're taking my brand and business more seriously. I'm seen as a more credible source. I'm getting asked to be on more podcasts. I'm getting asked to do keynote speaking. I'm having more conversations. That's leading to more leads. That's ultimately leading to more conversions. Even when I'm in person speaking with people, they comment on my social content and talk about how it's helped them or educated them or clearly just made me seem like a more credible source. So we took all those like anecdotal pieces plus hard outcomes that we saw, and we developed a framework, and it's called Reputation Pillars. And that's what I'm going to take you guys through kind of briefly. It's pretty comprehensive, so I'm going to give you just very much a snapshot. But what we figured out was there were 4 different pillars to an online reputation. And when these 4 things are working really well together, you can be kind of rest assured that your online reputation is a good one. But if there's one piece that you feel like isn't quite there, we also have ways that you can build up that pillar, if you will, to create a situation where you just are able to be more credible, more authoritative. And the entire point of this ultimately is to drive revenue growth. That's the entire point. Be that trusted source, be the credible go to in your industry, ultimately to grow your business. So I'm going to share screens really quick, and I'm going to show you what Reputation Pillars is all about. This is a live interactive resource that we built for our framework. You can access it anytime. It's just reputationpillars.com. There's a ton of stuff in here that I won't get through today because it's just too much. There's actually 5 different videos on this site that are like a little mini masterclass. And from a storytelling perspective, kind of breaks down each pillar, how you can use it, what you can do to build up that part of your online reputation. But again, like I mentioned, the entire point of this is to grow your perception, earn more trust, and drive growth. So I'll dig right into the very first piece, and that's quality of impression. And this is the impression that a lead, visitor, or user gets about your business automatically from going to your site, seeing your LinkedIn, seeing you on social, seeing you on other digital spaces that you occupy. This is the first impression that you give them. And is it one that you want to be giving them? Because whether you realize it or not, you are giving an impression. It might be good, it might not be, but there is some sort of impression that is happening here. My favorite sort of anecdote to explain this one is a personal one that I dealt with just about a year ago. We were looking for a new attorney for Breezy for our company, and I was referred to 2 different firms. And this is kind of a side note, but I get some pushback sometimes on this framework from people who get mostly referral based business. But what I found in that world, when you're referred, still social proof, you know, you're talking, and then actually are a credible source for them. So whether you prefer or not, people are still going to check you out, check out your site, your socials, these sorts of things to be able to see if you're worth their time and to have a conversation. So sort of a side note, but first mine's ugly. It's really difficult to navigate. And it did not tell me automatically if they could help me or not. They weren't speaking to my pain point. I didn't really fully understand the niche of law they were practicing to be able to tell if they could help me with the problem I had. And so as I'm working through this, I'm like, this is frustrating. I don't really want to keep looking at this. I'm going to go look at the other one. It's a beautiful site, super easy to navigate. It immediately spoke to exactly what my pain point was, exactly the questions I had and the issue I was dealing with. I booked a consultation, had a great conversation, and I hired that attorney within a few days. So it just goes to show that first impression you give people really is the difference between potentially having a conversation and losing that lead altogether. So this is one we really, really focus on. This is not only appearance, but it's also, just a level of professionalism of your site, your socials, the content you're producing. All of these things are giving an impression that's either you're a go-to or I am very nervous to give my money because I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. Second pillar is credibility of expertise. And my favorite way to kind of explain this one is, do you show what you know? Or another way to say it might be, how do I know that you know what you're talking about? How do I know you actually are able to do what you say that you're able to do, or that you have the experience that you do, or the expertise that you do? This is the difference between, you just saying, we're great, we know this, we do that, and actually being able to show that. One of the easiest ways to do this probably is pretty obvious and is through social content. So I want to show you a few examples of this in real life as well on how I do this with my personal brand on a consistent basis, because credible content doesn't have to necessarily be kind of a one size fits all. There's a lot of different ways to do this and to show different levels and types of credibility as a brand. So this is a piece, hopefully you can see this too. This is a piece I put out a few months ago. And you'll see here that every piece in this video, these are just stats that I have sources for. So this isn't my experience. This isn't, my opinion. I'm talking about employee generated content, which is a really important form of content marketing right now. But I'm just talking about purely third-party sources that have shared information and stats that show how important this is. So I am communicating to my audience. I'm keeping up with trends. I know what's going on, and you can come to me for education because I'm going to bring you information that's actually helpful for you. Second form is me actually just talking about my own experience. And this one I'm actually referring to the referral-based conversation I mentioned a few minutes ago. I'm talking about how even if you're a referral-based company for the most part, you still need to focus on your online reputation because people do want to see social proof from you and they want to be able to see that you know what you're talking about. So I'm just speaking from my experience. This is much more in that like thought leadership sort of category, but still showing the credibility that I have in speaking in the space. This third piece is a LinkedIn article. And I'm answering this question, is my business too small to build an online reputation? This is the exact question I got from a lead recently. And I answered the question to her in that conversation, obviously. But I thought, man, this is a really interesting objection I haven't heard before. I need to go address this because this isn't the case. So I went and took the exact conversation we had and I turned it into a full length piece of content to be able to use that for other potential objections in the future, dealing with that. Again, showing the credibility of our position. And the last one, this is a little bit more of a fun approach to credible content. But this one specifically is me breaking down some of my favorite personal development books. I have found that most of the founders, owners, and people we're targeting are very focused on this as well. They consume a lot of information. They read a lot, they listen to a lot of podcasts. They're very focused on personal and professional development. So when I share things like this that I'm also passionate about, it shows that there is a continuity there, that I'm a person that you can trust because we have similar, interests and we have similar things that we're into. So another way to show, again, professionalism and credibility. So my point in showing you all four of these pieces is there's a lot of different ways to show that your brand is credible through just pure education, thought leadership, speaking in more of a sales perspective towards objections, and even just being able to interact with your target audience in a way that will make sense to them. All these things can kind of be part of that credibility of expertise. The third pillar of the four is authority in the marketplace. And this one's really important because it might seem similar to credibility, but when I think about credibility, I think about somebody going, yeah, they're good. They know what they're talking about. They did a good job. And then authority is, oh, you have to use those guys. They are the best. They are easily our go-to. We pick them every time. You want to be that person. You want to be picked over everybody else every time. And with the amount of options that consumers have in pretty much any industry at this point, you want to kind of be that like shining authority amongst all of your competition. The best way we have found to do this, and this is maybe the piece I think that most of our clients are missing the most when they come to us, is the authority piece. And it's not because they aren't great at what they do and don't know what they are doing. They do. And they usually have a decent quality of impression. It's not too bad typically. Their credibility is usually there. It's the authority that's really missing. And authority is one of the harder things to gain, but it is so critical because it requires a third party stamp of approval. It's being invited and cited and being seen as a someone that you invite into things. For instance, what I'm doing right now, speaking to you guys, this is part of authority. I had a third party organization, Midday Connect, say, hey, Savannah, come on and teach us about this thing because I was seen as an authority about online reputation. So I'm here talking to you about it. I wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. So that's appearing on podcasts, that's writing guest articles for other people's sites. It's looking at industry awards and investing in those. All of these things are able to show that you have more authority in your space than your competition. Ultimately, and we like to say it this way a lot, is that you can't grow your brand on your own. You need third party stamps of approval in order to make sure that people see you as the go to source over and over again. And the last piece in our framework is consistency of execution. Um, Whenever somebody, you know, that person in your life that they just don't text you back hardly ever, or it takes forever for them to text you back, they're always late, never on time. You have somebody like that, or a couple people who have those different things in your life. And whether you think about it consciously or subconsciously, you worry about their consistency. You know they're not going to show up when they say they're going to. You know they're not going to text you back. And that chips away trust with somebody. You can still love them and they're still your friend and you're still going to try to get together with them. But there's a quiet frustration or that colleague that you know is going to take forever to respond to your Slack or email, whatever it is, that chips away at that trust because of a lack of consistency. The same is true of your brand. So when I go to a website and I see a blog hasn't been updated since 2021, whether it's conscious or subconscious, my thought is, oh, they don't really keep up with this. Like, what else do they not keep up with? Or if I go to their LinkedIn and I see they have one logo on their LinkedIn and a different logo on their site, there's this lack of consistency across the board. I'm like, their attention to detail sure is pretty small. Do I really want to invest my money here? It's all these things that start to chip away at that trust that people want to have before they ever talk to you. You don't want to have to persuade leads in conversations that you get on that you should be trusted. You want to prove that well ahead of time. These are the things that can help you do that so that you are not only have a reputation that's speaking for you 24/7, even when you're not actively working, because your digital presence is doing that whether you realize it or not. But before you get on that call, you've already warmed up those conversations that you're having because you've already shown all of these things to be true. I would wrap up the entire framework, and I say it this way a lot to our team and people we're talking to. And I always just say that if your online presence sucks, people will think your business does too, whether it's true or not. That's just the reality of it. All of this kind of boils down into, are you creating the impressions you actually want to? Because you're creating an impression, but is the one you want to create? Are you consistently showing that you are credible? Do you show what you know as a brand or business? Are you the go to source in your space right now? And if not, what do you need to do to change that, to get those third party stamps of approval, to make sure you're seen that way? And where can you change your consistency? Is it a little more consistent approach on social media? Is it updating your site more? Is it making sure there aren't any broken links, or your entire design is consistent across the board? Whatever it looks like, all of these things work comprehensively to make sure that you are a brand people want to trust with their money and can poise you for growth. So that's reputation pillars, and hope this is helpful for you as you look to grow your brand or your next venture.
Awesome. Thanks, Savannah. A couple of questions came in while you were running through things. So let me just drop down into the middle, I think, here. So Rebecca asked, what's your favorite example of a brand that really nailed their online reputation and why?
Ooh, good question. So there is a client we got to work with. They are a fractional CFO company, and they particularly work with their ICP is the working wealthy. That typically is a person who's making at least 500K to 2 million a year in income, not revenue, but income from their business. And when we first started working with them, their company presence, I wouldn't say was super strong, but what they've done super well is we helped them put their founder out front. He's got a big personality. He's a lot of fun. He's got great knowledge on business finance and specifically how business owners should be approaching their personal finances in conjunction with their businesses. And so he really like let it fly now. He has a great personal presence. I've seen him do a really good job letting his personality shine through while also being incredibly educational on LinkedIn. His name is Brian Lang. He's a great follow on LinkedIn if you're interested, if you want to level up your business finance. But I've seen them do a super good job of putting him out front and letting that kind of lead their presence at this point. So he has the company and they have a team, but that founder led approach for them has worked super well. And I think that's been a really, really effective way to go about it.
That's great. And that probably leads into this next one. So Glenn asked, how much should we worry about our personal brand versus our business brand? So you said you serve solopreneurs and founders.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's their personal brand is the
Yeah.
brand.
So it's funny because this is something I've become extremely passionate about in the last year, and I was even personally late to the party on this, which is maybe why I'm passionate about getting our clients on this. But I think your personal brand as a founder is incredibly important. I actually have a post. It's a few posts back on LinkedIn. And I'm not saying this to go look at my profile more just because the data is really good. There's like 7 stats I found that prove how important SEO face or CEO facing content is and how much more people are poised to buy when they see a CEO that is active on social, the amount of traffic they get that is far more than obviously a company page on LinkedIn. Company pages do hardly anything for you. It's all that founder led content that really makes a big difference. So it was probably about a year and a half ago. I finally was like, okay, I just gotta focus on this. Like I've got to put some effort into this. I got to put some time into this. And honestly, I got to swallow my pride and just do this because yes, there's nothing more like cringy than having to film yourself. And when you first start doing it, it feels incredibly difficult. But we have seen tremendous strides for our brand for Breezy as a whole with me being out front. We're actually doing a huge investment in founder led content for me over the next year. We've actually shifted our marketing strategy significantly towards me being out front in the face of our brand, even doing things like this right now, talking to you guys. So I think it's incredibly important. It is tough to get going. I know that I've been there. But I actually am producing a lot more content around helping founders get started with that. So give me a follow on LinkedIn. Would love to chat with you and help you in any way I can.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Let me drop down into Alan. Uh, Let's see. Alan says his industry is very young and not well known, but a lot of online clinical trials are coming out each day, affirming the industry's acceptance. Would posting those links to a science page be an acceptable way to show superior knowledge with a personal observation defining the scientific discoveries?
That is actually a perfect way to do that. So, regardless of the industry, we do this all the time. So, we do third party article shares for all kinds of industries. The one that comes to mind that I do all the time is HR. We have an HR company and we will go find news on HR. We'll find third party takes on how to do different things and we'll just give our opinion on the trend or whatever they're talking about. Insurance is another one we do a lot because there's a lot of policy that ends up affecting insurance or just the economic landscape will obviously affect insurance a lot. So we'll share news around that and then give a framing of how it's going to affect business insurance, for instance. So great way to do that is to find another source, article, piece, and then just give your 2 cents on it. Also really easy to actually create that content because you're not making graphics and carousels and videos. You're using a link and you're just giving your little POV. A really easy way to produce really credible content.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a question. When's the right time to shift from, or do we ever totally shift from DIY content to professional solutions, maybe like Breezy provides?
Sure. So I think it really depends on your space, your time, your resources. I have rarely come across a client that came to us and was doing a good job with DIY. We have tons of people who come to us and they've been doing it for a while to save money, or they think that they can handle it. But a few different things typically happen. A, they just drop off, they fall off the wagon, they just can't consistently produce enough content. B, they hate doing it. They do not like doing it because producing content is a full-time job, but it shouldn't be your full-time job as a business owner. Or three, they just aren't able to produce with the same quality because it's not their thing. It's not what they do. It's not what they're passionate about. So in general, would I rather somebody post some decent content infrequently than nothing at all? If that's all you can do is DIY, sure. But if you're really serious about growing your brand, you're really serious about growing your online reputation and being seen as credible, I think DIY is pretty much not is very rarely going to work out unless you are an actual marketer that can do it for yourself. You're going to need to shift in some way, shape, or form to professional services, even if it's a more affordable sort of approach at first. And honestly, you're going to be so thankful you did just to get it off of your brain to have that outsourced. It's one of the easiest things to outsource, and it will make your life a heck of a lot easier.
Okay, I've got more questions, but if anyone has a question here, you can just come off mute or you can put it in the chat. I'll be quiet for a minute.
Thanks, Savannah. This is Christian Iverson. With small companies, I know it ranges a lot, and a lot of your answers might say it depends. But what, as a small just startup company, what kind of costs are we expecting? And I know the ROI depends on the industry, and there's a lot of things there. But what are some ranges of things we could think about?
Yeah, I know for us, and I'll just tell you, our pricing is very transparent. It's on our site. So I'm not telling you anything that's not already out there, but we have an entry level package that is 4 social media posts per week on up to 3 different platforms. And that's 900 a month. You're going to get a dedicated creator that is only on your account, or you have a person who is dedicated to your account. So it kind of feels like you get an instant team member overnight. You have daily access to them to chat with them. They meet with you monthly. They're strategizing your content. They're meeting with you to get all that subject matter expertise out of your brain. So it feels like really authentic, rich content. Obviously, with the way that AI has gone, it's more important than ever for us to really be able to break through that with content that is really real, that feels super genuine and actually brings a lot of value. There's a lot of just crap right now, and we're really working hard to break through that while still using great tools. So you're going to get all those things. So that's about 16 social posts per month on average. And we found that's a great starting place for almost anybody in any industry. And that is, across a lot of different industries we've worked in. We're agnostic. So we've worked in pretty much every space you can think of over the past 6 years. So about 900 a month is what I would say is a really good starting place for most brands and businesses.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Dominic. I had a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned all the garbage that's out there. You mentioned you have ways to break through. Could you kind of review how you break through that AI world?
Yeah. Well, for one, we don't copy and paste from ChatGPT. I think that's number one. The amount of that you are seeing right now across LinkedIn is disturbing at best, and everybody knows what it is. There's actually some really interesting data I came across a few months ago that I think it's something like 82% of people, when they are given AI content, they get it right that they can tell that it is AI content. So the vast majority of the time when you are doing that, people know exactly what it is and they can tell what you've done with it. So that instantly breaks credibility and trust with people, because whether you are actually lazy or not, they perceive you as being lazy and not producing something that felt like it had a lot of value to it. So First of all, we have a very systematic approach to using any AI tool. Our entire team is trained to use AI as a tool, not a replacement. We have like we actually made it into a blog post of this comprehensive sort of like view on how we use AI. All of our staff is sort of trained around that, and we don't use it in that way. I think you can use AI to brainstorm, to get initial drafts, to use it almost like a buddy that you back and forth kind of bounce ideas off of. All of those things are great, but it does not replace humans. It does not replace human creativity. It does not replace your brand voice. It doesn't have your brand's heart and soul, all those different things. So using it as a tool is great, but we never use it as a replacement. So just as an example, like really practically, I might have an idea for a blog and I will talk into my voice recorder for 5-10 minutes about this topic. And I might take that transcript and throw it into chat and say, hey, clean this up for me and give me like an overall view of how to take this big stream of consciousness I had and turn it into a blog. And it might do that, but here's a couple things to think about. That all came from my brain, my ideas, my experience, what I'm dealing with. And then AI just helped me get it into a little bit clearer form. But I still then even take that and completely edit it to make it feel like our brand and voice. That's just one example of how we use it. But again, it's just a tool. It's not something to replace the actual practice of humans being able to create messaging that resonates.
Savannah, I couldn't agree with you more in terms of your approach, because I'm in the medical imaging, and have very strong opinions about AI being an assistant, not a generator. And that's very dangerous, especially in the medical imaging business. So I totally agree with you. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Other questions? So Savannah, let's say that I've got a site
Hey,
that is,
Spencer.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just saw Christian's question. What's your take on AI or automation tools for brand reputation building? Very quickly, Christian, I'll just say this. It totally depends on exactly what the automation tool is and what you're trying to do with it. I'll say there's a real big difference between like, so for instance, here's an example, mini chat. That is when you see on Instagram, they say, comment this for links. That is an AI automated tool that is taking the comment and sending a DM directly to the person. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it sets up the creator to be able to give really interesting resources and information, and it gets around the link problem that is Instagram. It just will not be cool and finally let us have real links. Like, why can we not just get on board with every other social platform? I'm not sure. But it's getting around that issue that keeps the person from being able to get the resource more easily. That is very different than bots that are trying to comment for you to create engagement on social platforms. That does not work. Not only are you going to get flagged, not only is it not going to get you the kind of attention that you want, it's also just going to break trust that you're using these sorts of things. So I think it really depends on is the tool to actually help the human, or is it something that you're just trying to make it as a shortcut to get around what really needs to happen? I also saw that comment like a chat bot. There's different ways of using chat bots, but if they're clunky and they frustrate the user, it would be better not to have anything and just have them reach out to you over an email or something else. So I think it really depends on the quality of the AI automation and how it actually is helping the person versus just trying to get around stuff, if that makes sense. Sorry, Spencer, go ahead. I just saw that and wanted to comment on it.
I like the audience questions better than my questions. Let's say, so I've come across some sites that are, outdated. And you talked about this earlier, a blog that hasn't had a post for, a few years. If someone is starting today, they want to take, some action coming out of this meeting, what are a couple of actionable things either on their website or their blog? I mean, I'm guessing they could just put an article out there on the blog, but what are some things that more particularly that would get to this kind of building trust, and being reputable?
Yeah. So I would look at, for most people probably that are listening or part of this conversation, very likely the most important social platform for you is LinkedIn, more than likely, and then your site. Those are the two biggest digital spaces that you need to be, doing well in order to get the results that you want. So I would just do a quick little audit of my LinkedIn. Is my bio, is it actually accurate to what I'm doing now? Do I need to update any links in here? Is everything feeling fresh? Does my banner design, does it look okay? Has it been a long time since I've changed it out? Is this really the profile picture that I'm using consistently? Or is this really what I want it to be? Just a little audit, like what's that look like? And then what has my consistency been in producing some original content or reshares? Has it been sporadic where I haven't done anything in 3 or 4 months? And then I'll go on a spree of a few things. And then again, I don't do anything for 3 or 4 months. What's that been looking like? And then what can I do to at least have a little bit of consistency, even if it's once a week? How can I commit to a little more consistency in that space? And then for your site, it's kind of a similar thing, but looking at the site, comprehensively, like a little bit of an audit, looking at it and saying, okay, is all this design actually, relative to what we're doing now? Do we need to make some fresh changes? We have any broken links? Is everything like fairly updated? When's the last time we put out a blog? What kind of cadence can we get on to get this more consistent, to make sure that we are getting the SEO and GEO, generative engine optimization, which is AI search, to get those benefits out of it? Just kind of doing a quick audit of everything. I'll also say reputationpillars.com, we have like 3 to 4 different little things you can do under each pillar that you can follow. And most things you can like start today. And they're just like little tips and like quick little actions you can take. So I highly recommend checking that out too. You can kind of almost follow it like a little guide and kind of check it off almost like a little list.
Awesome. Okay, this has been great, Savannah. So glad you could come and share your wisdom with us. And can you just drop your LinkedIn there in the chat then, and people can connect with you
Absolutely.
and Breezy? Awesome.
Absolutely.
And then,
Well,
yeah, you will see this content out. You'll see it on LinkedIn. You'll see it on YouTube, and you'll get Hannah does a great job of sending out the follow-up emails that come out tomorrow. So we'll see you all here next week.
thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.